This is a great way to make a living. It's a great career choice, I promise you that much. And what I want to do is I want to talk to you a little bit about finding and developing leaders by taprooting. And I want to tell you that to have a great career in this company, you need to become a regional vice president. That sounds like a lot of work to do, actually. It sounds like a ton of work. But the way you want to look at it is you only need 4 people to be regional vice president. You see, in this company, when you personally bring someone in the business, that's a leg. Bring another person, that's another leg. You have 4 legs. After that, you could have infinite levels of people, and as long as somebody on each of those levels becomes a team coordinator, that leg's done. And then you become a regional vice president. So you're not, in a sense, looking for thousands of people to make this your career. You're only looking for 4 individuals. You need 4 captains. You need 4 best friends in the opportunity. You need 4 people to make this an absolute dream come true for you. And as I realized that, I was so excited to rush to those 4 people, to sift and sort until I found those 4 people that wanted this, that wanted to become a team coordinator. And in a sense, team coordinator is not that difficult. I want to break it down the same way. You're only looking for 3 people. You're looking for 3 people that want to do the business to the efficiency of executive team leader. And when you find an executive team leader, they will definitely have 200 points in their organization. When someone wants to be executive team leader, you may bring that person into the business, or you may find that person in your business through what we call taprooting. Same thing at executive team leader. You're looking for 3 people that want to do the work to become an ETT. And they don't have to be personal recruited people. They can be 3 or 4 levels deep. And ETT is the basic fundamental, the fundamental building block of ACN and the immediate goal of every single person that joins in ACN. And when I heard Mr. Franco LaFranco's speech 10 years ago, I realized that ACN was just a couple of legs with a ton of executive team trainers. And if you could help other people become executive team trainer, eventually you could become a regional or senior vice president. So I want to tell you, when I personally got started in the business, I had a lot of trouble in the very beginning. It took me 2 regional trainings and an international training to figure this thing out. It took me, after the national convention, I realized what I needed to do, and I went home that week and finished off ETT. Now I want you to really walk with me on this one, because when I hit ETT, it was like the most exciting day of my ACN career because I had an epiphany. I had an ACN revelation. The ACN heavens parted, and I had ACN knowledge bestowed on me. I realized at that moment, if I could become an ETT, thousands of other people in Salt Lake City, where I lived at the time, could also become ETT. And if thousands of people did it on my team, I would be an RVP. When I hit ETT, I literally felt like Arnold Schwarzenegger in The Predator. Because when I looked at that report and I saw ETT by my name, I said, if it bleeds, we can kill it. Now, I just got to go out and kill another 1,000 ETTs in the next year or 2, and I will be an RVP. Now listen, the best and the easiest way to do this is through taprooting. I almost feel guilty having this be my training topic because it's the most fun way to build a business. It's the simplest way to build a business. It's the least painful way to build a business, and it's what I've done naturally best since I started the business because I love recruiting. But I'd rather talk to someone that I don't know about the ACN vision, that has their perfect attention on me. Does that make sense to everybody? See, a lot of people shy away from network marketing because they're like, well, I don't like to go to my friends and family. I don't like to go to my friends and family. I don't like to bug everyone at every picnic, every gathering. I don't want to recruit all the time. I don't have to recruit all the time. I said, listen, my personal story, I was good at taprooting, I didn't have time to recruit. I recruited my first month of ACN, and for 5 more years, I didn't recruit because I was too busy working with the hundreds of people that were placed in my group that I could work with. And it was way more fun going into a meeting where the person introducing me to a stranger is telling them that I'm the executive expanding an international opportunity and I can be whoever I want to be. I literally, every time I bought a more expensive suit, I became a more powerful business person. Because what do they know about me? Nothing. Only what the guest or my new rep is introducing me to them. And I can sit across the table and give them a powerful presentation and get them excited. And that was a lot more fun than just going to my contacts who didn't trust me in terms of being a businessman. They didn't believe in me that I knew business. So taprooting is the best thing. I want to define taprooting just so it doesn't confuse you. Taprooting is finding leaders levels deep in your organization. So Mom is level 1, Megan is level 2. Megan introduced us to people, introduced us to Jeremy and Mindy Diebel, deep in the organization. Jeremy and Mindy Diebel introduced us to Darren and Jennifer Dowd, another level deep. 25 levels deep. Jennifer Dowd is 25 levels below me. And that's through taprooting, finding leaders deep in your team's warm market, or networking. Let's talk about that word, networking. That is what we do. Networking is not a term specific to this company. Networking is a term specific to everything. Any business, any person. I networked in college. Just getting to know someone through someone is networking. So for example, I had some friends that were kind of preppies in high school. They were the kind of kids that if they lost at the basketball game, they'd yell across the court, "It's all right, it's okay, you will work for us someday." And so I like these guys when I met them in college because I realized, look, none of us are going to the major leagues. None of us are going to the NFL. We got to think about being businessmen. And these guys had parents who were successful and wealthy. And I wanted to gravitate and kind of learn and see what they knew. And whenever we go to a party, I'd see these guys out and hanging and mingling. And I went up to one of my friends and he goes, networking, Spence? And I was like, well, I'm just meeting people. But their parents had taught them business terms of networking, meeting people. So my best friend in college introduced me to one of his best friends, Kurt, played on the football team. And I remember one day I woke up, I didn't have a ride to school. And so my friend, TR, couldn't take me. So I called my new friend, Kurt. And Kurt's like, "No, Spence, you're putting me between a rock and a hard place, but I'll drive over and take you to school." And when I got to class, TR's like, "How'd you make it to class? You overslept." I go, "Kurt took me." He goes, "That's my friend." I said, "But you've been taprooted." See, because now he's my friend. And we hang out and he takes me to school when you leave me. And so the concept of networking was easily portrayed for me just in my social group in college. But then you get into ACN, your goal is to always work with and build relationships with the newest IBO. So your goal when you log into your report is look for all the green and work with the green. So many people are calling their people to talk to their new people. Hey, listen, tell the guy that just joined, tell John, no. You call John directly. You see, I am a result of being taprooted. My regional vice president would be considered the king of taprooting, and he is now my senior vice president. His name is Jeff Weber, okay? Now, think about this. Think about this. Jeff Weber had a power leg, Mike Basutti, and they had another power leg where he had the #1 TC in ACN. But he brought in a friend who became the #1 TC of ACN, who brought a friend who became the #1 TC in ACN. Now, the rest of us would think, that leg is done. 3 #1 TCs back to back to back. But then I came into that team. And I did things that caught Mr. Jeff Weber's attention. And even though there were already 3 superstars, he saw that I was a leader, so he worked with the lowest person in that leg, and he worked with me my first month as an ETT to put in 75 new people in Salt Lake City, Utah, flying in from California one time. What did that do? That not only kept that leg growing, but it solidified all the people that he couldn't work with and didn't have time to work with. See, in this business, ACN, our compensation plan is so brilliant, you only need 3 legs to go out and make a fortune. A 4th leg makes it a career, and 6 legs, forget about it. Forget about it. But when you have those 3 legs, you can work deeper and deeper and deeper. I was on Jeff Weber's 50th level. So I learned that same mindset because I don't want little money. I want big money. I want ridiculous money. I want a lot of ACN money, ladies and gentlemen. And you don't make a lot of ACN money just turning through new people. You make money going deep and creating massive leaders and massive organizations with massive customer bases. Let me give you an example. I started working with Mr. Craig Cotter, who is one of my very best friends in the world, okay? Craig is like my BFF, right? And everyone's like, that's so cool that you and your bestie can work this business together since you've been friends your whole lives. I said, I didn't know him until ACN. We became friends through the business. I taprooted 3 people for him. I taprooted someone that quit the business. I recruited someone in a meeting named Daniel Ludlow, who got his money back before he did. He brought Ben Oviatt, who brought Craig Cotter. Because we keep working with the new people. We don't care what the existing people decide to do, because when Craig Cotter blows up, what do you think the existing people are going to do? They're going to fall in line. So me and Craig Cotter worked the business a lot together. He became the #1 producer in all of our company as a team coordinator. But then Mr. Kurt Ludlow came into the picture. You see, Craig Cotter became a Circle of Champions member. That wasn't good enough for that leg because Kurt Ludlow had the talent. So I started working with Kurt Ludlow, and I went to Vegas and literally bunked up with Kurt Ludlow. Absolutely. We once played 32 games of billiards in like a 3-day period of time because between meetings we didn't really have nothing else to do. Now, Kurt Ludlow and I worked so well together, and he was so effective, he became a Circle of Champions member. But that's not enough, because he brought in Pete Arroyo Jr. and Pete Arroyo Sr., who are also amazing at the business, and I worked directly with Pete Jr., one of my best friends in the world, until they became top producing regional vice presidents. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is when ACN gets fun, when you taproot deep into your organization. You want to work with the deepest, best person. So, you know, Craig would get a little bit jealous that I spent all my time with Pete. I said, Craig, I love you, don't worry. It's not what it seems. It's not what it seems. Pete and I have a chemistry. But you're going to benefit from this, so don't worry about it. You build your other legs. I got this one under control. The attitude of a taprooter. I work with the people that deserve me. The attitude of a taprooter. I build new relationships. It's not good enough to be BFFs with Craig and have him report everything down the line. I want to get to know Kurt Ludlow. I want to get to know Pete Arroyo Jr. and Pete Arroyo Sr. and so on and so forth until you've anchored that leg. Because what we're doing, ladies and gentlemen, is we're mining for leaders and mining for leaders who then, with us, mine for leaders who are mining for leaders. That's how you make $100,000 a month in this opportunity, is doing this taprooting. Another attitude of a taprooter is I get my people paid because I work under my existing leaders, which creates income for everybody above. You see, you have to get your leaders paid. As a matter of fact, you don't have to get everyone paid on your team, just the people you want to keep. So the deeper you go in one leg, the more you can benefit more people through the top. Now, you always want to think long term, because when I was working with Jennifer Dowd, Darren Dowd, Kurt Ludlow, Peter Arroyo Jr. and Sr., I was an RVP. I did not get one paycheck from anything that Jennifer Dowd and Darren Dowd were doing because there were 7 RVPs between us. But see, I understand long-term wealth, and I know you do things you don't get paid on today so you can get paid on things you don't do tomorrow. Right? So I worked very, diligently in 2008 with Darren and Jennifer Dowd. In 2009, I had the craziest personal life ever. One thing which I had a leg in like a contraption for months on end. So that whole year was probably my least productive year in AC in 2009. But it was my highest income earning year because of the work that Darren and Jennifer did after I hit SVP. I made a ton of money on them that year because I hit SVP and then reaped the benefits of the taprooting. Because when someone hits ETT and you're ETT, you might not want to help that person that's good. When someone hits TC and you're TC, you might not want to help someone that's good, but you got to help those people. See, Mr. James Jackson is a regional director, and in one line he has Bao Nguyen, who's a regional director. He's got Leica Westerland, who's a regional director. He's got Martin Choi, who's a regional director. He's got Lawyer Malloy, who's almost a regional director. And James is working with all these people that right now he's not getting paid on because they're all the same position. But what he's doing is setting up a trust fund for himself. When he finishes his last team coordinator, becomes a regional vice president, all that money will be waiting because you have to think long term. As an ETT, as an ETL, as a TC, you have to think long term. Always take care of the people that are good no matter if you get paid on them or not, because it's so rare to get someone good, you don't want to mess it up. There, you heard it. Now, trust me. It's like, someone's good finally. Help them. So, what to look for when you're taprooting? People give you signs. They hold them up big. They say, look, work with me. I'm your leader. They're signs. They don't talk, though. And then other people hold up signs like, I am not your guy. Talk to all of my friends. Don't spend any time with me. Because everybody that comes into your business is one of two things. They're a leader or they're a doorway. Now let's speak to that for a second. I come into a meeting, I recruit somebody, this person could be my next leader. But if they're not my next leader, they're a doorway to their meeting and their new people. You're not my leader? That's cool. Let's have a PBR next week so I can come over to your living room and I can find another person. And if I keep walking through these doorways to find these people, pretty soon I'm going to be like, the golden child, because you came in and got 15 points on your own. You brought everyone to the training that week, and I didn't even tell you to. You had a PBR. When I walked in, I was like, whoa, there's 50 people here. What's going on? This isn't normal. And they're holding up a sign saying, I'm your next team coordinator. Work with me. So when you're working with your team, and I'm going to go into this at the end, but you have to be likable because you can't be mean to your people, because if someone's not a leader, you can't be mad at them for not being a leader. This is not what they are. If you push them out of your business, how is that going to benefit? A quit rep can't open a door to a new rep. You see, ladies and gentlemen, you're a general, but this is a volunteer army. I always teach my leaders in leadership, my pastures have no fences. The reason why I have so many people here is because the grass is green and lush. And people want to be here. They can leave whenever they want. But the environment is good. People want to be around. And that's the kind of attitude and atmosphere you need to create to be a successful taprooter. To be a successful networker. Likable, okay? Tools that you need to do taprooting. Now this is, pay close attention. Anyone whose business is not taken off the way you want it to, if you've been in for a year, you've been in for 2 years, you need to start learning how to taproot. See, a great networker, a great network marketer could recruit the lady across the street, the guy across the street, and through that person, you could bring in 100,000 new people because you have them give you just one person, who gives you just one person, who gives you just one person, who gives you a stud. Off to the races. That is the way that you taproot. So, you must be an effective presenter in order to taproot. Because if someone is going to sit you across the table from a potential recruit, you have to be able to sit there, teach John how to edify you, and say, thank you, John. And then you're talking across the street to Jane, and you're ready. Jane, take a look at box number 1. I like to use this hand. Take a look at box number 1. So my point is if you're not a good presenter, you can't go crazy quickly taprooting because you don't have the tools. So not only do you have to be a great presenter, you also have to be good at two-on-ones, setting them up and executing them, and you're hunting. You're hunting for that next leader. See, my taprooting imagery, because I remember in the first 3 years of my business, we had 50 new team coordinators on my team. Just in my RVP group, those 50 team coordinators were responsible 1 month for 2,000 new people. And those were all in 4 legs, because it's taprooting. And people always ask me, man, Jeff Weber's a great taprooter. He found you. Now you're a great taprooter. What's that all about? I said, here's what I'm like. I'm like a sheepdog. And I sit up on the hill, just like the cartoon. I'm blow my hair out of my eyes, right? And I just look out at all the IBOs, all the sheep, until I see a wolf come in. And then I beeline it to that wolf. And I say, you're my next personal project. We're going to get you to team coordinator in the next 90 to 180 days. And I'm running with that person almost full time until they get to where they want to go in the business. That's the attitude of a taprooter. But you can't do that unless you're the one who can go out and present with that superstar. PBRs are the very best venue. That's the way I found my people. I come into a PBR, I'm scanning the room for the next leader. After the PBR's over, hey, it's nice to meet you. Tell me your name. Hey, let's exchange numbers. As a matter of fact, do you see what we just did right here? Steve, do you see what we just did right here? This is what we call a private business reception or PBR. Do you think you could do this at your house? You could? I'm going to come over and do it. Here's my cell phone. Let's talk. Now we're texting. We're friends. We're texting, right? I don't have to talk to the host. A lot of the times the people I taproot are blood with the host. It's like, hey, I talked to your sister yesterday. We're doing a PBR on Saturday. You talked to my sister? Yeah, I talked to your sister. We text. Okay? That's my girl. We're friends. We're killing it now. You can come watch, do what you want to do. It doesn't matter. You're taprooted, right? Now, I don't say the last sentence. That's just how you're thinking, right? You got to be great at launching because people don't know what to do unless you launch them. They don't know how to invite their friends. At a launch, I always say, all right, invite me to the 2-on-1. Invite me to the PBR. All right, that was good, but you can do it this way. And you give them a tip. And that training is going to be all weekend on how to do those things. You just got to be good at it, okay? Bringing people to the events is a great way to taproot because it unlocks their potential. Bringing people to see the vision is what you need to do. And you want to keep it simple and move quickly. My favorite compliment after any training or presentation that I get is people coming to me and saying, wow, you just make it so simple. Wow, you just make it so simple. Well, let me tell you something. In this business, you get 10 services, touch 2 people, who get 10 services, who tag 2 people, who get 10 services, who tag 2 people, who get 10 services, who tag 2 people, get 10 services, and pretty soon you have 100,000 services. It is simple. Then you start a new leg. You start 3, 4, 6 legs. It is simple. Ladies and gentlemen, any fool can complicate something, but it takes a genius to keep it simple. You must keep it simple. I just can't take it when people try to make ACN sound more than it is, because all you need in terms of sophistication is our video. After the video, you guys say, look, the genius of this business is in its simplicity. We can put on hundreds of thousands, over 1 million customers in my group since I've joined through the simplicity of creating ETT after ETT. That's it. Just everyone doing a little bit can flood the population with ACN home services. Now, today, it's not enough just to learn. It's not enough to hear, not enough to be excited. We got to go to action. So if you want to take this business seriously, here's my call to action. Sign up for Charlotte, North Carolina, because you're in. You're a leader. You're committed to the training program of our business. Go home and show 10 to 15 people this week ACN. And then when you get one person excited, bring them to the next big vision, which would be your business opportunity meeting, Saturday training, or your regional training. When they're fired up, schedule a private business reception with them and start taprooting. Start getting into their warm market. That's the best part of what we do. You don't have to recruit thousands of people in this comp plan. Now, if your people aren't giving you people, you got to go get your own people. But your goal is to be so busy with your 3 lines, and then when that line has lots of leaders in it, you start another line, and then you have 3 lines, and you're so busy on your way to RVP that you want to recruit, but it's tough because you're booked every single day doing 1 meeting if you're part-time, 3 meetings if you're full-time, 3 presentations a day, keep all of your financial problems away. And I can't even recruit. I used to get so frustrated I remember in March of 2003, I did 90 presentations. Our group put in 170 new people, and I put in 0. Because I was so busy taprooting, I was so busy working for my team that I didn't even have time to go out and recruit a new person. Now, obviously, if that momentum is not there, you got to start out with recruits. That's the call to action. But the goal is once you get it started, you keep that plate spinning. You keep life. Tony Kupas said, Spence, when a new IBO comes into a team, there's life in that team. Every month that there's green, there's life. Green, growth, life. That's the whole, I don't know. But my point is, you got to get new people joining all the time. So you're working with those people to set up meetings to give you more people. Now, the X factor to this whole thing is personal growth. Let's see, where's mine? It's personal growth. Personal growth is everything. Okay, we have success on demand, which is like multi-millions of dollars of money invested for us to have more resources of becoming the people we need to be than you could ever imagine. How many of you are excited about the personal growth program in ACN with a compensation plan attached? That's the best part about ACN. Excuse me. The best part about ACN is the personal growth. If you want to be good at networking, taprooting, networking, you need to be likable. Some of my best IBOs of all time were some of the least charismatic of the leaders, but the most likable. Because people want to give you their contacts if they like you. You can't push them out of your business. You want to be professional, confident, but humble. You got to be humble. You got to learn how to tell your story that you're grateful to ACN, all the glory to ACN, glory to God, glory to everyone else. I'm just excited that I got this opportunity, but I know what I can do in this opportunity, and I know what I can do for you. The way that you dress. You want to dress the best that you can because people judge you the minute that they see you. You got to have a positive attitude all the time. An amazing work ethic is how you build this business. When I see people take this and go to new heights, it's because they're workers. See, when Mike Masudi said you need 2 things to build this business, coachability and work ethic, I said, I'll be coachable. I've been coached my whole life. But work ethic? You shouldn't have said that because I'm my mom's son and she's my grandma's daughter. And we in this bloodline can work and work and work and outwork anybody. I'm telling you right now, working doesn't scare the Hunn family. And that is why we're able to make money. And that is the best thing because you can control your work ethic. Just don't be lazy. I remember Jeff Weber one time said, Spence, you'll get your ACN legs under you sooner or later. Because I'm like, bro, I'm going to die if we keep going this hard. But then I'll climb into bed, wake up the next morning renewed, get my stamina up. You got to be a worker. Also, you have to have fun. You have to have fun. You have to have fun. Obviously, my favorite part of ACN is the fun. That's the only way I can take this. It's like, do your head in if you don't have fun, ladies and gentlemen. Look, If you're not having fun every single day, you are doing it wrong. I want to take this time and I want to thank my father, Jim Hunn, for teaching me how to be a man of honor, because the X factor is things that you can't always learn quickly, and he taught me these things since I was little. And he taught me that good guys get good deals, and he taught me to be a person of integrity. So I just want to thank Dad for that. I want to take this. I want to thank my mom because she's a winner. She deserved to win. And until ACN came into our lives, she didn't have anything to win at. And they're great people. And after I tested the waters of ACN, I went back to them. I said, guys, we could do this. And they worked hard. And in a month, they're going to be senior vice presidents. You can imagine who their favorite child is now. Okay, at least who their favorite son is. I'm so proud of my sisters that are here dominating in the business, and I can't believe what this has done for my family. And they'll get promoted at the next convention, so I wanted to officially, in front of everyone, tell them how proud I am that they're going to hit SVP within 10 years. And that's the best story, in my opinion, in the whole company. So I also want to tell everybody, I was 22 years old when I saw this business. I didn't have a job. I never had a real job. I used to work in the summer constructions. I did roofing. Anyone ever throw bundles before? I did concrete footings. I did landscaping. I did framing. And that was the hardest 2.5 weeks of my life. So I really didn't have any experience at all. I never did a business before. I didn't have an office. I didn't have a computer. I used the athletic study table as my world headquarters with free printing for the first month. I used the Best Western, the girl behind the desk, to fax off my stuff, and I'd have a continental breakfast eating a maple bar thinking, this is a pretty great business. I got office space all over the city. I didn't even have a car, ladies and gentlemen. I rode a bicycle when I started ACN. So to have a company that you can literally, without any resources, just really a desire and a work ethic, passion, and you can go out and you can make millions of dollars around the world. See, this vision was so clear to me 10 years ago at my first international convention. I want to describe it like this. I saw the crown of SVP lying on the ground, so I picked it up with vision, passion, and work ethic. And I encourage every one of you out there to do likewise. To see the vision and just go get it. Don't make any excuses. Don't make any excuses. We've had enough leaders break every single excuse. This is an excuseless business. Just go get it. The field is white and ready to harvest. You just need to go to work. And last but not least, don't stop believing.